Well, hi everyone. We're inside. We're going to do an animal encounter. Well, sort of an encounter, maybe a close encounter. Maybe that'll be the way of putting it.
Yes.
A close encounter. We're going to do an animal encounter inside the Creation Museum. So I have with me Leanne, our zoo manager, Matt, who's a supervisor.
Yep.
Here at the Creation Museum, this is the main hall. You see our big mastodon over there. And, oh look, we have the Star of Bethlehem left over from our Christmas program.
Yep.
And of course, there's nobody here because
Nope.
the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter are closed to the public during this coronavirus situation. Pray we can open soon. And so we are going to have an encounter with some aquatic
Yes.
creatures. And all the boys and girls should know what that means.
Yes.
So not terrestrial, right?
Right.
But aquatic,
Yes.
which means they're in the water.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So here we have a big aquarium. This is what this really is. It's a great big aquarium, has a waterfall. We're going to show you some of the inner workings of the aquarium, and we're going to actually feed some of the creatures that are in there. So Leanne, what can you tell us about this?
So this this aquarium in our main hall here at the Creation Museum is 6,000 gallons. It is a freshwater aquarium, so it is not saltwater. It is a freshwater aquarium. And in a little bit, we'll go and see some of the behind the scenes. But as you said, we do have a waterfall. That waterfall actually helps quite a bit because it actually helps oxygenate some of the water, get some oxygen in some of our water for us.
So let's walk around
Yes,
the side
we're-
here. Oh, look, what do we have there?
So that right there looks to be one of our little turtles. So right there, that looks like either our Texas map turtle or one of our other species of turtle we have in here. So we'll go around.
And we're also going to, we have a living fossil.
We have a living fossil
We're
in here
going
as
to
well.
see if we can see the living fossils.
Yes.
You know what a living fossil is? Something that, according to evolutionists, lives millions, hundreds of millions of years ago and is still alive today. And it's not extinct and it didn't evolve. Oh, I see a living fossil right there.
Yep, there's a living fossil right there. So boys and girls, what do you think the living fossil in here is? So right there, we have one of our Florida gars. So we have 5 Florida gar in this tank. Florida gar are native to Georgia and Florida. And they are one of the about 5 species of gar that are found here in the United States.
And according to evolutionists, they go back how many millions of years?
I believe it's about 143 million.
It's quite a lot. And they look the same in the fossil record.
They look the same in the fossil
And they're
record as
living
we see
today.
today. Yes.
And think about this. According to evolutionists, they lived at the same time dinosaurs did.
Yes.
But
There's
they live at the same time humans do today, and yet they mock at us when they say that dinosaurs live with people.
Yes.
Think about how ludicrous that is.
yes. So we have these guys here. They're really cool fish. They're really fun for our guests to see. We also have a bunch of turtles in here. So we have 4 different species of turtle in here. Up here we have Bernice. She is a yellow-bellied slider. So this species of turtle is native to the United States. You may see a yellow-bellied slider in your backyard, or in your pond, I should say. And then behind her we have Edward. He is a Rio Grande. He is a cooter. So we have 2 of these guys in here. We have Edward and we have Roberta. Roberta is up sunning under her log right now. That's her favorite spot. So the Rio Grande cooter is also native to the United States. They are found in New Mexico, Texas, and Mexico. And they're really fun. And then we also have a painted turtle in here. Leave that one there is our painted turtle. These are western painted turtles. They are also found in Canada as well as the United States. So if you go to a pond, you might see some of these. And then finally, we have in here Texas map turtles. I believe there was one down on the bottom earlier. These guys are really unique looking turtles, and they are found basically out west. So the Colorado River drainage down into central Texas is where they're found.
That garfish has really been trying to show off because he's a living
Yes.
fossil. According to evolutionists, he's a living fossil.
So
And
these
we're
guys,
looking for the other turtle, but
yes, he was just here a little bit ago. I don't know what happened to him. He's
so
around
I got
here
a question
somewhere.
for the boys and girls. Okay, what's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? Remember, we looked at a tortoise the
Yes,
other day
we looked at a tortoise the other day.
down at the Ark, and here we're looking at turtles. So have a
Yes.
guess what the difference is.
Okay, so
Leanne, do you know what the difference is?
yes, I do.
Being our zoo manager, I guess she would know.
I should know the difference, right?
Between a turtle and a tortoise.
Okay, so while Bernice is swimming there, you can actually see one of the differences between a turtle and a tortoise. So a turtle has these beautiful webbed feet. So because they are aquatic dwelling animals and spend a lot of their time in the water, they need these webs to help them swim. Whereas a tortoise has more of a stump-like foot. It doesn't have webs like the turtle does. Obviously, the biggest difference is turtles tend to live in the water while tortoises live on the land. That is the main difference between these guys. But also these webbed feet are also another big difference between turtles and tortoises. So all 4 species of turtle that we have here in this aquarium here at the museum are all members of the same kind. They're members of the same created kind. It is called the pond turtle kind, and there's about 50 different species within that kind.
So that's another reason why we even have the creatures like this here, is to teach about kinds again. And Leanne, one of the questions, and if boys and girls want to write their questions, you'll
Yes.
answer them later,
Yes.
right, for most of them. But one of the questions is, what do they eat?
So most turtles are omnivores. I'm sure boys and girls out there, you probably have heard the term omnivore before, and we are omnivores. So that means that turtles will eat both plant material as well as other animals as well. So most turtles, when they're young, when they're babies, they eat a lot more of protein. So crickets, other small insects, even small fish, worms, things like that. As turtles mature, they then start eating more plant material, so leaves, things like that, is what they will eat. Now here at the museum, we do give our turtles both protein as well as some plant material as well.
So is that one hungry? Sort of looks hungry.
Yes.
And you give them all names too. That's amazing.
Yes.
Do you have names for the garfish?
The gar do not currently have names, so if anybody has good names for 5 gar, feel free.
5 gars,
We
okay.
have 5 gar here.
All right.
So we're going to have Matthew actually come over. So our turtles and gar are being really patient. So this is typically the spot where we feed our animals. So we've actually trained our turtles, and we're working with the gar on actually tong feeding. So what that means is Matthew will stick this tongs with some shrimp on it today down in the water, and the turtles will come up and take it. And this just helps us make sure that all the animals are getting enough food, that one animal's not kind of bullying all the other animals off of food, so we can make sure everybody's eating well. The turtles are have already pretty much been trained to tong feed. The gar are starting to kind of figure out how all this tong feeding works. So they're actually coming up now too. Up here we got, I think that's Tex there. But he is a painted turtle. So
What kind of turtle is he?
He is a western painted turtle.
A western painted turtle, okay.
They get that name because of kind of the patterns on their shells. So Bernice here, she is our star tong feeder. She's been doing it the longest, so she comes right over and gets it. And so I said she's a yellow-bellied slider, so these guys are found through quite a bit of the United States. Another fun thing about most of the animals in this tank are all native to the United States as well. So we have a lot of native species in here. We'll see if we can get the gar to come over. The gar are really cool because they kind of will stalk their food. Bernice is showing off. if we can get some of the gar to come over. So if you notice, the gar are kind of swimming close to the top right now. So if you see a gar out in a lake or river, they'll kind of swim close to the top. They kind of look a little bit like a tree branch. So that's how they will actually basically stalk their food. They'll kind of float around the top and kind of look for insects or small fish to eat. Oh, we had one of our cooters came over too. He's going to get some food as well. So today they're getting a diet. For their diet, they're getting some little shrimp.
That's the protein, right?
That's the protein. I'll get some shrimp, and then for the turtles are also getting greens today. So they get greens pretty much every day of the week. So today they're getting some collard greens today.
You really pamper all the animals, don't you? Look after them.
We try. We try to be really good stewards of our animals here at the Creation Museum and provide the best possible care we can for them. So some of our turtles like the greens and other ones aren't really interested in them, but we always offer it to them just to provide them with a well-balanced diet.
So do these turtles go on the land at all?
They do. So they will come out. They will come out to bask. We have some basking lights over on the other end of the tank here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the lights over there.
That is our female Rio Grande cooter over there. That's Roberta.
Oh, she's much larger than these.
She's much larger. So
is she the largest one in here?
She is the largest one in here. So a lot of species of turtle, the females get much larger than the males. So for instance, Roberta over there, she could weigh up to 5 pounds, whereas a male of her same species could be anywhere from half a pound to maybe 2 pounds at his largest.
And they like to sun themselves there.
Yes.
So we've got the special lights.
Yes, we have basking lights over here. So these provide both warmth as well as UVB. So because we are not outside in the sun, we have to provide these guys with some ultraviolet light to keep their bones and their shells healthy.
Oh, that's amazing. See, people don't realize all the work that goes into this and feeding them and the fact you've put so much thought into it and make sure they have a balanced diet and be able to get the ultraviolet light. And do you think we should show them the secret room?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
We'll go show them the secret room.
See, because the Creation Museum and the Ark are closed to the public, we can do all these fun things with you and give you some inside look at things that you normally don't get to see.
Yes.
And you meet some of the staff you might not necessarily get to meet.
Oh, yep, the gar, they're going down for their shrimp.
The gars are going,
one's
look,
got
they're
some.
eating their shrimp.
Oh, there's one of our Texas map turtles right there. There he is. We have one named Oliver and one named Oswald. There he is. So these guys are really cool. If you look at their back, you can see they've almost got this spine or ridge on their carapace, or the top part of their shell there. That is a characteristic of the map turtle. These guys are really unique type of turtle. They get their name map because if you look at the top of their shell there, it almost looks like they have a map or a pattern on them. So that's how they get their name map turtle.
So map turtle.
Map turtle.
Now, you mentioned the fact that the waterfall helps with aeration and getting oxygen into the water and so on, and helping it stay healthy. But there's also machinery behind the scenes too. Just think, all the machinery you have for an aquarium in the ocean, God does it all just using the sand and the waves and so on. So if you come around the back here, you see this rock wall here. Okay, so this is a secret door that I don't think we've ever shown any of our visitors before.
I don't think so.
But you can actually come in here. Look at that. And we'll turn the light on.
Here.
And
okay, I'll get out of your way so you can see everything in here.
So, Leanne, what do we have in here? Filter system, pumps?
Yes, we have filtration. Our pump system is back here, behind the scenes, behind the waterfall. We also have a UV light on the water as it runs through this filtration system, so that it'll kill off some bacteria and things in there. We also have a heater on the system as well to make sure we maintain the tank at the appropriate temperature for the animals that we have in there. as well.
And because this has been operational for 14 years this year.
Yes.
This is our 14th year.
Yes.
Memorial Day weekend,
Yes.
14 years
14
ago,
years.
2006
Yep.
is when we opened the Creation Museum to the public. Yeah, see, you wouldn't even know that's there.
Yep.
And of course, no one's allowed in there, and we
No.
lock it anyway.
Yeah, it's
So-
locked. You have to have special access to get in there.
Special access to get in there. So we'll come back around here, have another look at our little creatures in here, see
Yes.
what they're doing, and
They're
before we finish
everybody's kind
today's
of
program.
finding any shrimp left on the bottom there. Looks like
I
Bernice
don't
is
think
down
the
there.
turtles didn't like their greens or didn't eat them all, but I guess they
Yeah.
will over time, right?
They will, yes. Usually we'll put the greens in the evening or morning, and then usually by the next, either that evening or the next morning,
They're
they've-
gone.
They're gone. They've eaten what they've wanted, and then we'll just skim off whatever's left there as well. So
And when you do come to visit the Creation Museum, the waterfall here, we have two little animatronic dinosaurs and two animatronic children up there as well. And then as we go around here behind us is an animatronic sauropod. Actually, Buddy Davis sculpted the sauropod originally, and then they took a mold of that and then made it into this one, which is animatronic.
Yep.
And I think he's off right now, looking at it, but actually his mouth moves. Oh, there he
no,
is.
he's on.
He is on. Just now and then his neck moves. There we are. He was just having a rest.
yeah, he usually moves pretty slowly. So
So there we are. Well, Leanne, Matt, thank you. Thanks for being here. And we look forward to another one of these animal encounter programs as we continue on. And you can't come to the Creation Museum or the Ark right now, but we can come to you. And that's what we do here. So there we are. Hey, check out our Kids Answers website if you're interested. It's a wonderful website. There's a lot to do on it. Go to the answersingenesis.org website, or just do a search for Kids Answers and Answers in Genesis, and you ought to get to our kids website. We have lots of great things there. And if any of you there want to help us as we deal with this situation where we have no income coming in from tickets to the Creation Museum and the Ark, we have to look after all these animals, our staff and others, and a lot have had to make sacrifices and so on. But you can go to the answersingenesis.org donate page to help us. Well, with that, thanks Leanne, thanks Matt. We'll see you for another one.